Today's episode is brought to you by Patreon. If you're interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/JoshuaVelas and become a $2 backer today and get early access to the new episodes. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below, but for now, on to today's episode. You're listening to the Augmented Experience podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Joshua Velas. I'm a student, musician, and a gamer at heart. Join me as I sit down every week to talk about all the latest news in the technology, business, and video game world. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. My name is Joshua Velas, and I'm your host as usual. And obviously, welcome back to the show. Today's episode 198 of the show. And before we get started, I'm going to do a house cleaning quick because, well, you guys don't like to do it around here, and it only makes sense that we do it. So let's just get on with the house cleaning. I do want to say thank you guys for coming back and listening to today's episode. Obviously, this is a very important week for a lot of people since this is Christmas. So I will say this right off the jump. Happy holidays or Merry Christmas to everyone, depending on whatever you want me to say. I do want to say thank you guys for allowing me to have a piece of your holiday weekend, or I would say really your holiday week, since this is the week of Christmas. And this episode does come out, 2 days before Christmas Eve and then 3 days before Christmas Day. So I really do appreciate you guys giving me a piece of your time and welcoming, metaphorically and in some ways literally welcoming me into your homes, because you're letting me, you're actually listening to me. Well, if you're listening to me during the holidays, I don't know what to tell you, but I do say thank you guys for it. I really do mean it. I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your time. I do also want to say thank you to all Patreon backers for supporting me and supporting the show throughout this entire year. I also want to say thank you for all the downloads that we have this year. We're still trying to hit the goal of 3,000 before the end of the year. I think we're borderlining close to 2,800. So hopefully maybe by the end of the year, or at least by the 3-year anniversary of the show, we can rack up the extra, 200-300 that we need. But I do want to say thank you guys. It really does mean a lot to me. Now, speaking of Christmas, we know that a lot of people are going to be getting something this Christmas. Well, hopefully everyone at least gets something, or at least spend time with their family and friends, because let's be real, that's the most important thing about Christmas. It's not about the material stuff, guys. Just being real with you. The material stuff, it don't matter in the end of the day, but the only thing that matters is enjoying time with those that you love and that you care about. But if some of you that are fortunate enough to receive a Series X this year, well, I'm going to be giving my 1-year review of owning the Series X, because I was fortunate enough that I was able to get the Series X when it came out last year, and a lot has changed in the span of a year, and many thoughts have been collected, especially using it fairly intensively throughout an entire year, and new games have come out. Obviously, in terms of this episode, we won't be really doing gameplay and performance, because that's what the original video was for a year ago. So if you haven't seen that, I'd highly recommend go watching that or listening to that. But when it comes to the Series X and owning it for a year, I do have many thoughts, and genuinely I'm surprised. I do believe that the Series X in the span of a year has only gotten better and better as time has gone on, whether it be the catalog of games expanding, whether it be the quality of said games and how they're running on the Series X has been exceptional. Whether it be games like Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite finally coming out, and God, that is an amazing game. Highly recommend playing that. Psychonauts 2, a very, very pleasant surprise. Microsoft Flight Simulator, and just a bunch of other games, like whether it be World of Tanks and getting better optimizations, whether it be Warframe getting better optimizations as well on console, whether it be Rainbow Six Siege and Destiny 2 getting much better optimizations on the Series X. To me, it definitely feels like now Xbox is in a much better place when it comes to how they're positioning themselves. I think this year has been a very impressive year for the Series X, for the Microsoft brand in general, even the Series S as well. But I primarily want to focus on the Series X because that's the one that a lot of people genuinely want the most. Personally, I do think the better value out of the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles, the Series S is the best value. You really don't need the big, you don't really need the PS5. You don't really need the Series X. Just if I'm being genuinely honest with you, you don't really need them. The Series S has shown time and time again that it is an exceptional value. And now that they're adding, bigger expansion cards and stuff like that, and even making a 512 gigabyte expansion card as well, I do believe that the Series S is the best value out of the bunch. I'm just being honest with you. But for those getting a Series X, my genuine thoughts, I wouldn't say haven't changed since getting it. Because I know when we did the 1 month review, that was actually, getting in hand, actually testing it thoroughly for a month and actually playing games. And now that a year has passed, do a lot of those things that I said before still hold up. One of the main things is the thermals and the acoustics. And I will say, personally, the thermals have been exceptional with the Series X. The thing is definitely not hot to the touch. I do believe that the cooling system has been handling very, very well, especially after a year. And just being honest, my rooms tend to generate a lot of dust, given the fact that how everything is set up. They're pretty dusty rooms. And the fact that thermals have held up exceptionally well, that I never have to worry about this thing overheating. I put my hand over it. It's not blistering hot. The box is cold to the touch. To be honest, the thermals have been exceptional. I've never had to worry about it, not one bit. In terms of the acoustics, the thing is quiet. Like, I don't hear this thing at all. Like, not even one. Like, I genuinely can't hear the Series X, and that's even without headphones on. Like, I just get near the sucker, I don't even hear anything. I do believe the acoustics and the thermals have held up exceptionally well in the span of a year. I do know that as time goes on, as we go into a much longer console lifespan, especially given that this generation is starting off to a much slower start due to the whole supply chain shortage and chip shortage as well. I do believe this generation will last much longer. Not in the case of, say, like the 360 and the PS3, where those generations literally got stretched out because of how popular they were. I do think this one is going to be artificially stretched out due to the fact of the shortages of parts and availability of these consoles, that they will be stretched out. But they're also the most powerful consoles that we've ever had. So nobody's really complaining, given that these things are exceptionally powerful. And as time goes on, developers will become more and more comfortable developing for these consoles, which we have seen with the Series X in the span of a year, that developers have become very comfortable developing for this platform. A prime example would be the games. The fact that Microsoft pumped out 3 exceptional games that honestly should have been put in the conversation of Game of the Year. The fact that Psychonauts 2 was nominated as one of the games of the year and was nominated for many awards this year. I still think it got snubbed by Deathloop, because Deathloop is just, personally, not that good of a game. And the fact that they gave Deathloop awards over Psychonauts 2 was, not gonna lie, that actually was kind of bullcrap. The fact that, Halo Infinite made sense that it didn't make the Game Awards due to the fact that it literally came out the day before the Game Awards, so it made sense that they couldn't include it. But Halo Infinite has shown that it is a very exceptional game. I think it's I still haven't finished all of it. I'm still going through the campaign, but I do feel like right now it has definitely earned its place in the upper echelons of Halo campaigns. I get it. For me personally, the original 3 are still like holy. Like, that's just like sacred, holy. Like, it's not going to be easy to top that original trilogy due to just how well and how just amazing they are. Like, I do think it's better than Reach. I think right now I can comfortably say it's better than Reach's campaign, and a lot of people really love Halo Reach's campaign. Like, it's exceptionally better than Halo 5's. It's not even close. Halo 5 is definitely near the bottom of the barrel. I have warmed up a bit to Halo 4's, if I'm being honest with you, because I feel like as time has gone on, I feel like it now makes a little bit more sense. This isn't a case of, if you haven't seen Spider-Man, I'm not going to talk about Spider-Man. We're not going to talk about that here because, we're not going to talk about it because some people probably haven't watched it and they'll get mad at me. But I will say Halo Infinite, I'm very happy with how the game came out, especially because it was supposed to be the original launch title for the Series X and Series S last year. Heck, it's on the box art too, so it's kind of bad that it didn't came out, but I think delaying it for an extra year, best call they ever made. The console definitely deserved that. The fact that they had more time to optimize the game for the console, and the fact that the game just runs so well. Like, I haven't had any stutters, no issues. The game looks exceptional, very, very exceptional, and I'm genuinely pleased. I am very happy with how it turned out. Forza 5 is another, to be honest, I haven't played it that much, but based on what I've seen, it is the highest rated game of the entire year. A lot of people genuinely believe that it should have been nominated for Game of the Year over, say, Resident Evil Village or Returnal, or I don't know. I don't know if Returnal. No, I think it was Deathloop. Yeah, Deathloop was the one that got nominated, or it got nominated, and people were like, "Yeah, it should have replaced Deathloop, or at least Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank, it looks great. It's just not amazing. There's only so much you can do." And the fact that Forza Horizon, a lot of people are very, very happy with the game. They still believe that Playground just outdid themselves, and they genuinely understand how to handle the open world genre. They understand how to make it very fun, very engaging, and they just genuinely made an incredible game. And I have nothing but praise for them. I'm very excited to see how they handle Fable, given that, they're the studio that's going to be handling the new Fable game coming out. So I'm very excited to see how this turns out. I would say another thing that I'd say personally impressed me is, the sales of the Series X and Series S in general. The fact that during Black Friday, the Series S was considered the best-selling console during that time period, that it was a very popular console that people like buying. The Series X, a lot of people, whether it be through, buying from resellers, or people were fortunate enough to buy them through retail. I think a lot of people are going to be very, very happy with owning a Series X or Series X, but I know for the Series X, that's the whole point of the video and the discussion is the Series X. I do believe that the performance of the Series X is starting to show itself, that it's clearly showing that, yes, there's a reason why this console is the most it is the most powerful out of the bunch, that it makes sense. Like, developers are getting much more comfortable developing for it, and the fact that games are starting to show and run exceptionally well, especially first-party games, because that's what everyone really cares about, are the first-party games. The fact that a lot of these games just look incredible, and it's not even close. Like, Forza Horizon looks incredible. Halo Infinite looks great. Like, it just looks amazing. The fact that we even at the Game Awards saw gameplay for Hellblade 2, that game looks incredible. One of the best looking games. I'm very excited to see how that game turns out. The fact that we're also going to get a lot of other Xbox exclusive games, like Starlink is coming out next year, or Starfield, my bad. The fact that Elder Scrolls 6 will be coming. The fact that, who knows, we might get another Doom, or, something else might come down the line. Personally, I have been very, very happy with my entire time owning the Series X for a year. I do believe that if you are getting one this Christmas, if you're fortunate, I think you're not going to be disappointed. I think the performance gains have shown themselves clearly. I think it's not even close in comparison to the last generation. The gains have been great. And if we want to talk about comparisons from the PS5 to the Series X, yes, the Xbox Series X has shown that it is that it definitely performs much better than the PS5 at this point. Thermals are much better. There's no concerns for thermals or noise at all. Personally, I think the Series X is amazing. I am very happy. I'm very happy with my purchase. I do not regret it one bit, especially because, I was fortunate enough to get it early. I think overall, if we're really talking about value and what you're using it for, I still think the Series S is the better value. My mindset has definitely changed, that I think the Series S is the better value for people that just want to casually game. But I do say that if you just want the best of the best, if you can manage to get one for retail, I think it's the best value. I think this thing is incredible. It genuinely is a good console. And the fact that now the first-party games are starting to roll out, the fact that third-party games are starting to become more optimized, that a lot of things are starting to really come into the tube. And you can see that the console is now really maturing and I wouldn't say coming into its own, but it's starting to full blossom. It's almost like flowers when it comes to springtime. It's like now the blossom period has started, and now the flowers are blooming. They're beautiful, and that's essentially where we're at right now with the Series X. And it's only going to keep getting better as time goes on, because again, developers are going to get more and more comfortable, especially given the fact that this generation will last longer due to how the world is right now. The world's a pretty weird place. I do believe this generation is going to last much longer, and I think this only benefits the Series X in the long run. I think as developers become more and more comfortable developing for this console, and more first-party developers are developing more games for this, because like I said, Xbox has already established they have a lot of studios working on a lot of games. Once those studios are more established, once those studios really get into gear of where they want to go and what they want to make, I genuinely believe we're going to start seeing a pattern of Xbox releasing AAA first-party exclusives they're going to start releasing maybe 4 to 5 a year at the rate we're going, especially with the amount of studios and how much quality content these studios have shown that they've made quality. Like, we've seen it. Flight Simulator was incredible. Psychonauts 2, incredible. Forza 5 was incredible. Halo Infinite was incredible. Just this year alone, we saw 3 amazing games made by Xbox studios. And it only is going to get better from here, guys. Personally, if you get a Series X for Christmas, you will not be disappointed. I think you're really going to enjoy it. If you like a lot of your older games, a lot of the backwards compatibility improvements and the FPS boost has been very, very helpful. If you have a lot of games from, downloaded games from the 360 era, and even like maybe some games you just genuinely have downloaded that are a little bit older, hey, they're probably going to run better, to be honest. It's definitely incredible with what Microsoft has been able to achieve in the first year of the series consoles. And to be honest, I'm excited for the future, and I think you will be too, especially if you get one this Christmas. But if you have a Series S or Series X, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you guys think I'm just blowing Microsoft's horn too much here? I personally do think as time goes on, because like I said, this shouldn't be a discussion that gets cut off right here. Like, oh, 1 year, okay, we never have to talk about it. No, we're gonna do this again. We're going to do a 2-year anniversary of 2 years of owning the Series X. We're going to do 3 years. We're going to do 4 years. Because that's what really matters. As more games continue to be added to the console, the console experience changes. You start to really see what this thing can do. You really get to see how well it performs and how it runs these games. And I think once we get more games coming, I think it's just going to be incredible, guys. I think we're in for a very, very beautiful time. And the same goes for the PS5. Once they start getting more exclusives, like next year, they got Forbidden West and they got God of War coming, guys. Like, they got a fire year lined up, homie. They got 2 very popular games that people are waiting on. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you like my opinion? Do you dislike my opinion? I just hope that, personally, guys, this is just me being honest with you. Don't focus on the material things this Christmas. If you don't get a Series S, if you don't get a PS5, you don't get the gaming console, you don't get the game that you want, you don't get the watch, the phone, whatever it is. If you don't get what you want, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that really matters is spending time with your family and your friends. And, in my case of being a believer, we also believe there's much more meaning, a much bigger meaning to Christmas. But for other people that don't believe that, the whole point of the holidays is to spend time with your friends and family and to really just enjoy time with those that you love and that you care about, and really just say, hey man, I'm thankful for you. This has been a great year and I can't wait to see how things go forward. That's what the holidays are really about, man. It ain't about the gifts. It ain't about the toys. Like, yeah, all the nice shiny clothes, shiny toys, they're all great, guys. But at the end of the day, that's not what matters at the end. That's not what matters in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't. But I hope you guys have a wonderful holidays. I hope you guys have a wonderful time with your friends, with your family, a lot of food. If you want to go work out and burn that food off, go right ahead, man. Or girls, go right ahead. You do you. But I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Please be safe wherever you find yourselves, whether you're in the States, whether you're, somewhere around the world, and if you're in the States, if you're a place that's got a lot of snow, please be safe, guys. It's going to be crazy. But thank you guys so much for your time. I love you guys to death. Please continue to be kind and respectful to those around you, because as always, the world is still a weird place. So let's just try to be kind and courteous to those around us. But as always, please be safe, guys. Don't do anything dumb. Have yourselves a wonderful week and weekend. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. I love you guys to death, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Hey there. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day and listening to today's episode. If you're interested in supporting the show, whether it be financially, clicking the follow button, or just sharing the episode, it all works for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I love you guys to death.